Welcome to this new video with Alvin Kamals. We're looking at temperature trends for late August already, but please note we could get some changes with this, so make sure you're following me on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, for the latest. And this comes from our Climate Prediction Center, and they update this literally every day. So that's the reason why I want to say you want to check back, because this might change by the time we get to this period as well. And I'll continue to update you on the forecast. This 6 to 10 day temperature outlook is kind of a little bit beyond your 7-day forecast, but instead of giving you exactly how the temperatures will be, we're looking at the trends based on our normal highs. So that's how it works, and they do a really good job of forecasting this. So let's get started. Looking at Missouri and Illinois through August 24th through the 28th, again a little bit beyond your regular 7-day forecast, which could change. Our normal high will continue to drop. So by August 31st, our normal high for this time of the year is 86. So when we look at this kind of shows us a lot of days when we're above the normal high, that we could have temperatures near or a little bit over that 90-degree mark. So the normal high is a critical factor to figuring out how temperatures might trend instead of telling you exactly what the temperature might be. Now, the further you head into the future, the further you head and continue to flip the calendar, we're not going there. It gets a little bit uncertain or completely uncertain. But then we look at the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, which takes us all the way until about the first day of September, which I'll tell you right now, 100%, this is going to change a little bit and look a little bit different by the time we get closer. So keep checking back. And this just shows you how confidence has dropped big time on exactly where the normal or exactly where the warm spots are going to be across the U.S. And note how we're kind of leaning or just a little bit above normal. I think in this period we have a lot of 80s on the board. Maybe some days we're a little bit warmer, some days we're a little bit cooler. But please note, I'm continuing to update this forecast, so do not worry about the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, because we're going to get some changes with it. It's really just the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook where you got to know what your normal high is, which if you're watching this video on August 18th, our normal high is just around 88 degrees. But then it drops by August 31st to 86. So we look at the probability levels, we can see Missouri and Illinois favoring above normal temperatures, and this just shows me temperatures near or a little bit over that 90-degree mark, or maybe in spots ranging in the 90s for a small period of time before things start to cool off just a little bit. But if you're watching this video on August 18th and you want more direct forecast, notice how the next couple of days were kind of pleasant when it comes to the weather. It's until we get into this small time period where we could have above normal temperatures. But it's nothing we can't handle, and sometimes they come in brief waves and then we cool back down again. So you'll notice how our weather is pretty pleasant right now on the day I'm making this weather video. But then we head into a small period where we warm up and then we start to drop. But notice how we're heading to the end of the calendar year, so it's expected that our normal high drops, and that is exactly what it's doing. And that's why by the time we get to August 31st, our normal high is 86. That doesn't mean that on August 31st it's going to be that temperature, because that's our normal high. That's kind of where we should be, but we use these temperature outlooks to kind of give us a good idea of where these temperatures are going to range. So hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, make sure you rewatch the video or follow me on Twitter or X, because I kind of go literally direct on your forecast, and I do a lot of more frequent updates on there because I just grab my phone, do a video, and I can get it to you immediately, rather than go all the way down here to my basement, make a video, and then it kind of doesn't bring the information quick enough. So hopefully you get what I mean. That's why you want to follow me on X or Twitter, especially since I'm returning to school. Maybe your kids are returning to school. It's going to make my job a whole lot more easier, even though I'll bring updates on here to follow me on Twitter or X. And the good news is my videos are kind of like a minute or less on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, whatever they call it nowadays. So you definitely want to follow me on there for more direct forecast. And note how today there was kind of not a lot to talk about. Let's just, for example, the next couple of weeks, or maybe it's next month, there's a lot to talk about, for example. That's why you want to follow me on X, so I can bring that information pretty quickly, because some weeks when I upload, there's not going to be a lot to talk about, while others, there could be a lot to talk about. So it really just depends. We were just looking at temperature trends. At this point, I don't see anything alarming, which is the good news. It's the perfect way to send your kids off to school with some pretty pleasant weather. But again, if anything changes, if there's anything you do need to know, make sure you're following me on X or Twitter for direct, pretty short forecasts that will not last about 4 minutes of your time. Hopefully you watched this video all the way to the end. If you did, good for you. And make sure you follow me on X or Twitter for continuous weather updates frequently and sent directly to your phone. Until then, if you're heading back to school, I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you in my next weather video.